One. Hey, we're live. Welcome. Hey, everybody. Jer-dog, the 420 report. Back after the weekend, doing gigs in Michigan and Ohio. I'm simulcasting right now as well on the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show page. So that's kind of cool. You should see this rig I have going up. And the reason for that is because this Saturday, June 17th, the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show will be in Springfield, Ohio. We're doing a benefit show at the Eagles Club, and the purpose of that is to raise money for Illinois Fathers Organization. It's a organization based out of Springfield that supports single dads. So we thought, what a perfect event to hold on Father's Day Eve, other than a kick-ass 3-hour wild and crazy, no holds barred comedy and magic show. Tickets are only $20. You can get them at the Eagles Club. You can also get them through the event invite, and I'll post a link and all that in the comments below. But that happens this Saturday, June 17th at the Eagles Club. So we don't have a whole lot of tickets left. I just want to put that out there. But right now, I am simulcasting on the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show Facebook page as well. So I'm all over the place. Also wanted to give some shout outs to some cool people that I met over the weekend. Steve and Candy at the Brick Wall Pub. Thank you for having me out Friday night. That was a really good time. And Saturday night I drove down to Springfield, Ohio from Adrian, Michigan, where the Brick Wall Pub is, and had a great time doing He Said, She Said comedy show with my co-star Katrina Brown. It was an outdoor event. Usually I don't like those outdoor events, but I was able to call back on my training from doing 10 years of comedy shows in amusement parks, competing with roller coasters and concession stands, and just general obnoxiousness. No one even paying to get into the show. They're not even there for the show. You just have to do street theater and call them up one by one, gather a crowd right there spontaneously. It's showtime. Gather around, come on down and see it. So doing outdoor shows doesn't really bother me that much. Of course, I think comedy takes place best indoors, where there is a low ceiling and it can be a nice intimate crowd. But I do want to give some shout outs to Barbie, Long, Chris, Wilma, Fred Poole, Kim Poole, Ron, everybody that was at the Machinist Club in Springfield. Of course, Katrina Brown, you made it a great time as well. We did our Q&A, and it got pretty raunchy. We weren't able to broadcast live on Facebook last week like we usually do because the Wi-Fi signal wasn't good enough out there where the show was taking place outdoor in the beer garden. But I think that might have been a little bit helpful for us because I wasn't so self-conscious, and we just let it fly. It got pretty crazy. But the craziest shit that went down was after the show, we went to the old club that I used to perform at in Springfield called the 19th Hole, which is where I originally met up with this crew probably like 10 years ago, and they came out to the show Saturday night, sat in the front row, laughed at everything. We did a lot of new material. I almost had to because these guys had seen all my shit before. They were even wearing old jer-dog vintage gear. So I wanted to make sure I brought all fresh material for them, at the same time having to battle the elements and do overcome the challenges of performing outside. So you got to keep it tight. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, I want to party with these guys. We have a good time. So they take us out to the original bar that I was doing back in the day in Springfield, the 19th Hole. Place is pretty much closing down, but big crew of us showed up. We're all there to have fun. We're ordering drinks. There's a few other customers there. They hooked me up with some chicken fingers and some wings, which was awesome. I was really hungry. While I'm trying to enjoy my chicken fingers, though, I get challenged to a game of pool, which I wanted to do partners because I fucking suck at pool. I mean, I do the best I can. I know how it's played. I just don't spend my weekends practicing to get kick-ass at pool. I spend my weekends practicing to get kick-ass at comedy. So, anyway, I want to play partners. That way I don't just make a complete ass out of myself and then everybody makes fun of me all night long. And if shit goes south, I've at least got somebody else to blame. Everybody was in there, was drinking. They're all getting drunk. No one's going to go in there and do a kick-ass game of pool. So we're looking around. This dude shows up. He's like, "Oh, you looking for pool partners? Are you guys going to play?" We're like, "Yeah." Dude just immediately starts shit talking. Just immediately. He's like the Muhammad Ali of pool, except without the skills. you know, and he's bragging that he's only got one eye. I'm like, dude, that gives you the advantage. You probably have better depth perception. I've always got to do like this kind of shit when I'm shooting pool. He's already naturally gifted with that kind of, I don't know what it's called, fucking eye superpowers, visual superpowers. Anyway, this guy's just shit talking up and down. They win the first game, we win the second game, and then all of a sudden here comes the bets. I bet $1,000 you can't do that again. And that's why I don't fucking play pool or darts or anything like that after I do shows. I get challenged all the time. Hey, you play pool, you play darts, you do this, you do that. Yeah, I would love to hang out and do that, except I know every fucking time someone's going to talk shit. One thing's going to lead to another. Sooner or later, someone's going to want to challenge somebody for money, and that's when it really gets serious. That's when the pressure's on, and that's when people lose. They start getting into fights. I've seen it go down before. I'm sure I'll see it go down again. Anyway, it was all cool. For the most part, it's just friendly shit talking. But this guy's like, I bet $1,000 you can't do that again. So I beeline straight back for the bar, finish my chicken and wings basket. I look back, the shit talker with one eye busting out his credit card. Like you're gonna take that in a fucking bar bet, a credit card. Anyway, I knew I'd have a great time going to Springfield, and I just want to thank you guys for showing me a great time. We partied until we shut the place down at the 19th hole. I haven't even got into the comments or seen anybody else who's joined. No one's leaving any comments, but I see a lot of people up there. Yeah, sometimes you need to play darts, but you never make stupid bets. You're exactly right, Robin. I got some comments I asked earlier today if people had anything they wanted me to talk about. Someone said that mention my favorite venue. What is my favorite venue ever to perform at? And I'll tell you, I thought a lot about this, and I don't want to break anybody's hearts, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I would say by far my absolute favorite venue to perform at is a real small town bar and grill in Clinton, Wisconsin. It's called Boxcars Pub and Grub. Shout out to Tim and Randy Pogorowski for running a kick-ass place, Pogos. He's been doing comedy there for about 5 years. It's a real small bar and grill, but he runs it like it's a full-time A-list comedy club. He gets a lot of the same people coming back as regulars over and over again. They keep the standards high. You can't just roll in there with bullshit because they will recognize it. At the same time, I probably perform there at least once, twice, sometimes even 3 times a year, and it always challenges me to bring new material, which I appreciate, but they're also very appreciative as well in return that I'm bringing new material, and they allow you to experiment, they allow you to have fun. It's just a good overall great vibe. I haven't even seen a whole lot of full-time A-list, well-known, top-name comedy clubs that have the type of vibe that you'll find at Boxcars Pub and Grub when they do the Grassroots Comedy Tour series. So that probably is my favorite venue. Someone also along the lines wrote about they watched The Aristocrats the other night. Verdict, it's bad. The joke isn't funny. Although there were some variations that made me laugh, not enough to keep me from falling asleep halfway through. Just a bunch of comedians jacking off to one another about how wild and crazy comedian culture is. Your thoughts? Yeah, I kind of agree, dude. It's hard to talk like this without sounding completely bitter because you're not as famous as the guys that are in the movie. But I didn't really think that it was that great either. Once you've heard the joke, you've heard the fucking joke. It's no longer surprising anymore. I think Gilbert Gottfried did one of the best versions of it when he did it on that Comedy Central roast. I think I'm a little bit biased because that was the first time I ever heard the joke. And I was like, God damn, this motherfucker's getting crazy. And then it ended with the way it ended, and I did think it was hilarious. I always like bait and switch type jokes like that. You know, I do a whole bunch of that type of material in my routine. And it is my favorite because I think the best part about comedy is where you give like a whole lot of truth, build something up where it sounds pretty legitimate. And you're like, people are like, whoa, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then completely swing it around another direction. And it's not at all what they thought you were talking about. Or some crazy off the hook response in return, you know. So I get the joke. I do think the joke is funny. I think watching 2 hours of it is probably a little bit redundant. I thought it got a little bit old. You know, and that's what happens when you get comedians talking about comedy, is we all start geeking out. It all, like, really, I don't really talk like that except when I'm around other comedians. You get chatted up with some of these guys and like, yeah, you know, how many seconds should I put between the setup and the punchline? And then if I do a tag and a callback to that, it's like, no one in the audience is thinking that shit. They really aren't. And I understand that you want to develop those tools and sort of learn some of those techniques, but after a while, you just got to get over it. My idea is to get on stage, just have fun with the crowd. I can naturally recall the material and the style of performing as need be, only because I did 5,000 fucking Comedy Wild West shows in amusement parks, in daylight, 90-degree weather on blacktop. So when I go into a beer garden, I can just naturally recall that. I don't have to go, so what was the technique that I used back in 1997 when I had to do a Wild West show on blacktop at Six Flags over Georgia? I'm not fucking thinking about that shit. It just comes naturally to me. I think a lot of times for comedians, they start getting deep into comedy. It can be really fucking boring to anybody that doesn't do comedy. Just get up there and be funny. Have fun with it. Anyway, that's my verdict. I guess I agree with you, Perry. I'm with you. Movie kind of sucked. I liked Gilbert Gottfried's version of it on Comedy Central. And then finally, Jury Duty, experience it for the first time. This is from my friend Chris Carter, who I did the Comedy Wild West show. So same with you, Perry, who asked about the aristocrats joke. So you guys know what I'm talking about. We'd sit back there in the dressing room and yak it up about this and that and what we need to do to be funny or make the show better. And it was just a whole bunch of, a lot of geek ball talk. At the end of the day, when we got out there and we just had fun with it and had fun with the crowd had fun with it. No one was ever going, you know what? That was an amazing show. I laughed my ass off and applaud and then walk away going, the only thing is, though, that joke in the middle, they put in too many seconds between the original punchline and then when they called back to it later on. I didn't, no one's ever fucking saying that. And if they are, they missed the point of just going in there and having a good time to begin with. We're doing comedy. It's not rocket science, okay? We're going to save the world through positive vibes and an uplifting attitude and putting out good, fun stuff so people can forget about their problems, even if it's only for 2 hours. We're not out there trying to solve world hunger. If a comedian bombs, it doesn't mean a bomb is actually going to fucking go off and kill people. Okay? So we can lighten up a little bit on the geek balling when it comes to comedy. Just my humble opinion. I could be wrong. Jury Duty, experiencing it for the first time. Well, I don't know, man. What's the question there? Is that a question? You're experiencing it for the first time? Do you want to get out of it? Is that what the question is? How do you get out of it? Because that's what most people ask. How do I get out of jury duty? I mean, this is the first time I've ever been asked that, but when I'm talking about jury duty, I don't want to fucking go to jury duty. Unless it was a really interesting case, then I might be. You know, I might be into it. But do you even get to know what the case is when you go in? Do they get to tell you, hey, this is the O.J. Simpson trial? Like, do you get to know what the case is, or do they just select random people and then you roll in and you got to listen to 2 lawyers yak it up all day long over some like real estate bullshit you'll never understand? I don't know. If you're trying to get out of jury duty, that's not hard, dude. Just walk into the courtroom with your dick out. Just unzip your pants, walk straight up there, fully confident, completely unaware, dick hanging. You know they would get quite a reaction, especially you, Chris Carter, with the paper towel tube. Of course, this is coming from a guy who's probably baked out of his mind traveling the country drinking human pee. Anyway, that's jer-dog for the 420 report. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I didn't get to anybody's comments on the thing. Todd, roll call. Yeah, buddy. I'll see. We got to hang out sometime, Todd Stein. Troy, thank you, man. We'll see you soon in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where we're bringing the He Said, She Said comedy show to the Town Line Pub and Grill. But that happens in October. It's quite a few months away, but we will be talking about it soon. Jeremy Cartwright, are we hanging out doing some writing tonight? Christy in Sterling, Illinois. Yeah, I miss you guys, too. Get with Art and all them at the club there. Bring us back. I got a whole new Battle of the Sexes comedy show that I'm doing with Katrina Brown. It's hilarious. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all again tomorrow. If you like this, hit the like button a whole bunch of times. That's like applause for me right now. Hit the like button, or the love button, or the laugh button. Boom, 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 boom. Whatever. You're not doing it. I'll do it anyway. Yay, jer-dog. You were great. We'll see you tomorrow at 4:20 or as close as possible.